Hi guys. See if anybody's here yet. Say hi if you're here. Let's see. Maybe the comments aren't on. Let me see. Okay. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started, and people can join whenever. And again, we're recording this and we're going to post it to YouTube so that people can watch later. So tonight we're doing what we're calling advanced glittering. It's just maybe not going a little bit beyond the basic techniques. It's nothing overly sophisticated, but it's sort of taking your glittering to the next level. So we're going to cover a couple of things. One is how to put confetti glitter into your design. Another is how to mix colors of glitter to make your own colors of glitter. And the third thing we're going to do is talk about the ombre glittering technique. And the final thing we're going to talk about is glittering, which is glittering and lettering all together. And most of you who have glittered before have actually glittered, but I'm just going to show you how to use a font so that you can kind of bring a different look and feel to your finished tambourine. So, and I should back up. My name is Jennifer Krieger, and I'm just one of a couple of people who just love to glitter and wanted to share our passion for glittering with our float as to encourage you to glitter tambourines. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'm going to show you how to apply confetti glitter to your item. But before I do that, I'm going to show you the final result. So it's sort of, we will work our way back. So I've got this tambourine here that I've been working on, and I have already glittered it with confetti on the sides. And you saw this, I think Debbie had a little bit of confetti glitter on the sides of her tambourine, and Tanya did as well in last week's live. So I just wanted to show you how to do it. Now, when we talk about confetti glitter, we're just talking about bigger specks of glitter, or we can talk about shapes that are larger pieces of glitter, and the technique is really amazing. Most of us learned it from Nori over at Nola Craft Culture, and it's just really cool. So here I'm working on an LSU tambourine, and you can maybe faintly see these little paw prints. Wait till I brush the glitter off, guys. So I'm brushing the glitter off, as we do after we finish a layer. When you're doing this confetti, you're going to want to do it on your second layer of glitter, or I should say your final layer of glitter, whatever that ends up being. I always do 2 layers. And these tambourines that we ordered are really wonderful, high quality tambourines. But as you have probably already noticed, if you've already started glittering, they're made of natural materials. So what will happen is your glue will soak into the wood on the side of the tambourine and whatever the top material is made of. So doing 2 coats is really, really what you're going to want to do. Otherwise, you're going to end up with kind of a poorly glittered tambourine. But I don't know if you can see, I'm having a hard time with all these reflections, but if you can see these purple paw prints. And I tried to organize them so that they would look like little paw prints going around the side of my tambourine. So you can see this is sort of a tone-on-tone look. So the paw prints are not very dramatic. They're sort of subtle, which is what I wanted on this particular tambourine. But I'm going to show you the kind of the opposite effect. So let me move away from this purple tambourine. And I will show you how to create that particular look, because I just think it really adds a wow factor. Okay, so let me move this tambourine aside. I'm in the middle of like 10 things right now, so my workspace is a mess. Okay. So let me show you first some different kinds of what I'm calling confetti glitter. You can see this glitter is much bigger than that fine, extra fine glitter that we recommend for a base coat or your regular use glitter, as well as your transfer glitter. It's much bigger, and as a result, it picks up a lot more light. It's a lot more sparkly, but you can see this would not do well on a transfer, but it does a really good job of providing an accent on a tambourine. So what I'm going to do is take this tambourine, and you can see what I was saying. This is one coat. Now it's a dark color, so my bare spots are really, really obvious. But I'm going to do the second coat now, and I'm going to show you how to do the confetti glitter. I'm not going to do the whole thing because we got a lot to get through, and I was really, really long last week, and I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do is just take my brush. For these tambourines, I tend to use a smaller brush on the sides. It's just easier to work with. But I'm going to just show this to you on maybe this section that's biggest. And I'm just going to paint my Mod Podge. I use a Mod Podge Eileen's tacky glue mixture. I think if you've watched all our videos, you've seen that we all have different preferences, and some of those preferences differ based on the on what we're working on. But I've become a real fan of this sort of half and half mixture. It's just not as runny as Mod Podge, and it's not as thick and gooey as Eileen's tacky glue, and yet it also dries really, really fast. Okay, so I am just, you can see with the smaller brush, I'm able to really be very deliberate about where I'm placing my glue. All right, so I've got this section glued, and now I'm going to take just one of my little pieces of paper that I have lying around, and I'm going to take a little bit of this blue confetti, and I'm going to sprinkle it, not liberally, kind of sparingly, on my tambourine. Then you try to get all of those pieces off, and I wish I had employed Debbie's smart idea to use the roller brush, the lint roller brush. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the back of my paintbrush, and I'm just going to sort of press down a few of these pieces that are sticking up without getting additional glue on top. Because if I get glue on top of these confetti pieces, then my red glitter, which is what I'm going to apply next, will lay on top of the blue glitter, and you won't see the confetti glitter. So, you know, you kind of defeat the purpose. But I want to press a few of these pieces down because they need to adhere to the glue or they will not stay on. Okay, so now I am going to clear off my piece of paper, and I'm going to get my red glitter, and I'm going to put the red glitter on top, just like we always do. You're just going to sprinkle it on, and then you're going to tap it off, and then you're going to let it dry. And you can see a little bit of that blue confetti coming through, but once it dries, and I brush the loose glitter off, you'll have that same effect that I had on that purple tambourine, except here it'll be much more dramatic. So I'm going to show you what that looks like on a finished piece. So once I brush it off, it will look like that. Just gives it a little something. And you can see this is actually for a friend whose daughter is going to Arizona, so I'm making this as a graduation present and I haven't stuck the transfer on yet, and I have to trim it and everything else. But I just wanted to show you, you can maybe see now why I picked this particular color scheme, because I've got the navy and the red and the white in my transfer on the top. So I wanted to pop that navy on the side just to give it a little bit of kind of continuity. Okay, so that is confetti glitter. And you can, oh shoot, I just mixed it. I was just gonna tell you, don't mix it. I'll fix that later. You can fix this in a couple of different ways. You can throw it away, put it in your glitter especial, which I don't want to do either one of those things. So I've got a really tightly woven strainer. And because these blue pieces are bigger than my extra fine, I can actually strain the red through, or I might just have to get rid of it. Anyway, don't make that mistake. Use different pieces of paper to catch your loose glitter, and that problem won't happen to you. Okay, so the next confetti glitter that I wanted to show you is actually that paw print, because I just thought that paw print was awesome and that you guys would probably want to see that. So again, one of my little transfer pages here, and I've got these paw prints, which I got at NOLA Craft Culture. Can you see those at all? Okay. Maybe I'll put them in the... Okay, these you can see are like lots bigger than, a lot bigger than those blue flecks. So these you can actually place, and you can get, people who make jewelry, they have these sticks that have stickiness on the back, and you can, like, applying gems. I bought one, I've lost it, I haven't used it. I just use my finger and place it. So I am going to pull out the next tambourine that I started working on. This is my LSU tambourine, and you can see the inside. I've done 2 layers, 2 coats, so looks good. This side, I've only done 1 coat. Let me see if this is better. Is that better, y'all? I'm asking you, and I can't even see the comments, so I have no idea what you might be saying. How's that? I think that might be a little bit better. Okay, so you can see all my bald spots, but that's just because I have the 1 coat of this particular blend, which I'm going to show you how to make this blend. This is LSU. I don't know. A lot of people use gold, like actual gold for LSU. I don't know. Everywhere I look, it seems to be more of a yellow than a gold, but it's a mustardy yellow. So I'm going to show you how to blend this particular yellow. Okay. So again, I'm just going to apply my glue to a section of my tambourine, and you can see I'm the lazy one who has not. I didn't tape off my jingles, and I'm just really, really careful. And I don't know I'm gonna have to tape them or something to get that little interior spot, or I might just leave it blank. I don't know. So I'm just putting my glue on like we always do, and I am going to take, again, when you're doing confetti glitter, you're going to put the bigger pieces on first. It's kind of counterintuitive because they end up looking like they're sitting on top. But what effectively happens is where there is glue, when you pour the glitter on, you're going to get glitter adhering. However, if you put these bigger pieces of these confetti glitters on, then when you put the extra fine, the extra fine has no glue to adhere to because these paw prints are in the way. And as a result, the glitter sort of surrounds it all, and then when you brush it off, it looks as though the confetti is sitting on top of the glitter, which I just think is the coolest thing. Okay, so I have applied my paw prints, and you can see I sort of tried to make them, I don't know, make sense. I thought about having it look like the paws were walking across the tambourine, and maybe I'll do that at some point in time. All right, so let me cover this up so I don't have that problem again. You know, these aren't the cheapest. Well, they are $3 for all of that. I think that's a lot. I probably won't use that in a lifetime. And now I'm just gonna put my glitter on top, just like I did before. And that's coat 2 of my glitter, tapped off. And you can see that a little bit of the glitter is on top of the paw prints, but that's just because of, I don't know, static electricity or something. But once I brush it off, those paw prints will pop. And you can see with the color combination, I mean, I've got the purple paw prints and I've got the gold tambourine. So these paw prints are going to be dominant in my tambourine decor. I'm making that up. I don't know what it's called. But anyway, my decorating of my tambourine, that these are going to really pop and be an important part of my tambourine design. So those are things that you want to think about. If you just want it to look really rich, then you'll use a monochromatic chunky glitter and with your extra fine. Okay, so moving on. Now, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with you about using chunky glitter. Except I did want to show you, because let me show you this. Okay, I've got 2 tambourines that I glittered black. And one of them, I'm going to show you just regular, you know, the super fine stuff. This came from Nola Craft Culture, and I find that their glitter is more sparkly than anything else. But you can see that's 2 coats of black, beautiful, very rich color, you know, a lot of sparkle. This is not holographic. This is just plain up. I think they call this Dorothy L'Amour, who must have been some actress who did macabre film or something. But you can see that's beautiful. That's pretty all by itself. But then I was playing around with a Dorothy L'Amour that it was a little bit bigger. And look at that. Look at that sparkle, y'all. That is incredible. So this has incredible richness, and particularly for black, which normally doesn't give you much at all. I mean, the light coming off of this is incredible. And I'll show you the 2 side by side so you can see. I'm not sure how well this is showing, but I think you can see. But I will say that what I had to do here is I applied the slightly bigger cut first as my first coat. And then my second coat, I came back with the extra fine to fill in the gaps, because otherwise it was actually not looking good at all. So anyway, that's just a little illustration of the differences in glitter. I have no idea what I'm going to put on top of that, but we will see. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about confetti glitter. Now let's talk ombre. Okay, so I have... We're Orpheus, and so we're music. So I thought it would be fun to put some musical notes. I don't have any idea what tambourine this is going to go on or what the design is, but I thought it would also be a fun way to show you guys ombre and glittering kind of all at the same time. So what I've done here with these is I've already kind of worked an ombre with some mixes that I made. And it is actually just 3 colors. That is this color that I mixed last live that I did, which was, I think was 2 lives ago. And I made this to go on one of the flowers, the sunflowers, which I wish I had right here for you. Sorry guys. Yeah, so it was this middle section of the sunflower, which is basically a blend of orange and yellow. So I put that on the sunflower, and this is the glitter that I combined or custom made, I guess you could say. So that is the middle stripe of my musical note. The second stripe, the one on the top, is actually that LSU blend that I made, that I'm going to show you how to make, which is really just orange and yellow as well. It's just mostly yellow and a little bit of orange. So can you see the difference there between the two? This is mostly yellow with a little bit of orange, and this is half and half. One thing to be careful about, or just to be aware of when you're mixing glitters, is the lighter colors, and by lighter I mean like yellows and maybe pale pinks and pale blues, kind of your light pastels, tend to be a little bit more on the sheer side. And so if you're mixing something that's mostly a little bit more sheer with something that is full coverage, then the full coverage is going to dominate that slightly sheer. So when I was making this, I started with the yellow and I added just a little bit of orange. And then I mixed it, and then I added a little bit more orange. Had I done half and half, because the yellow is more sheer than the orange, I would have ended up with mostly orange, even though I did half and half as far as quantity is concerned. So it's something you'll just have to play around with. You know, glitter is expensive, so I recommend just starting with a very, very little bit of glitter. Don't like start with this whole container and custom blend this whole container, because you could end up with, you know, wasted glitter on your hands. All right. And then the final part of my little musical note is actually this glitter. So what I'm showing you here is a way to create your design, and imagine that these are letters. So if this was, I don't know, T and I or something, we're making it. It's the same concept. So you're doing your outlines like you would a regular transfer, and then you're filling that outline in. So you can see I've got these musical notes. That's a gold and a gold. And then once that dries, you're filling it in just like you would any other transfer. But instead of applying just one color, you can apply multiple. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Actually, let's do that right now while I'm thinking about it. Okay, so I am going to come in with my glue, my slick fabric paint, which is my preference. And I shook it up, and I'm going to tap it onto my paper towel like I always do. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this, this note. So as I mentioned last time, I tend to outline first. And I've got a glare, so I'm kind of struggling here a little bit. But I outline, even when I'm filling it in, I outline first, and I like to do straight lines and then curves. That's just my way of doing it. And I just move my transfer around as you're watching me do, and fill it in. One thing you're going to want whenever you're doing ombre, which is, you know, multiple colors fading in, trying to create a fade effect, is you'll want a couple of pieces of paper. I always wondered at first, how do you not end up ruining all of that glitter? Because it's all gonna, you know, run together and how do you save your glitter? But the way you do it is you put down one layer of glitter and then you tap it off onto a piece of paper, and then you add the next color, and you keep going. You're going to have a little bit of a mixture, but when you're doing an ombre, you're already mixing colors anyway. You're like fading color into itself. So you're already doing that. So it ends up not being wasteful of glitter. As I do, I go and kind of look at my paint job from various different angles to make sure that all of my paint is touching my initial outline, because otherwise, if I had gaps, then when I peel this off, the inside will separate from the outside, and you basically that's not going to work for your transfer. Okay, so I've tidied that up, and now I'm going to start. So I will start with, it doesn't really matter which side you start with, but I'm going to start with the lightest color at the top first. So what I'm doing is I'm going to tilt my page downward, and I'm going to go ahead and apply pretty carefully. I'm going to apply my first color sort of to the top part of it. And again, it's tilted down, because if I tilted it the other way, then what will likely happen is this glitter will end up on top of this wet glue, and then I won't have any wet glue to apply the next layer of glitter to. Okay, so I'm going to tilt it down, and I'm going to do my tap. And here I'm going to tap as much as I possibly can. You might even flick your finger. And I got almost all of it off. So that's great, because that leads to less contamination of your glitter later. And I'm just going to shake that excess glitter back into my container, and then I'm going to do the next color. Taking all the mystery out of this. See, it's really not like a big deal. So now, again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to sort of tilt my paper. If you're doing this on the surface of your tambourine, which I've done, I don't know, I had this pastoral scene concept going, and, you know, with our sunflowers, that really kind of works. And so I was doing like blue sky and green grass, and I was doing it all sort of in an ombre. So you can absolutely do it on a tambourine. If you're being very, very careful with the way that you apply your glitter, you could even apply it like in a circle. You could like tap it on the outside. You'd probably have to divide the tambourine into hemispheres and do half at one side, because otherwise, how are you going to tap the glitter off? So I think what you do is, let's say this is your tambourine and you want it to ombre, let's say, you know, green and then blue and then yellow on the inside, something like that, or even a spiral. I would probably divide it in half, and I would glitter a line around the outside, tap it off, then do the next coat, sort of rainbow style, tap it off, and then I'd reverse it on the other side. That's probably the only way you could do that. Okay, so my final is this sort of orange. I call it, I mean, I use it as orange. It's more of a, I don't know, it's not a pure orange, but I've been using it as orange. Finding pure orange is actually really hard. Another thing, you'll notice I keep sort of tapping in the same direction. And what that's going to do for us is it's going to blend even more. So if there's any little spot that was left unglued, as I move that glitter across, it's going to kind of seep in, and it's going to add more to my ombre. You can, if you see this, you'll see it kind of looks like it's really orange here. And that's just because the orange is a stronger color. I don't know how to describe it. But I did the same exact thing here, and, you know, the yellow is not interrupted. So that is how you would apply multiple colors to whatever you're doing, be it a transfer or if you did a glitter, which I'm going to show you next, you can do the same exact effect. But you see how pretty that is? And what I love about this is you can take a very, very straightforward tambourine. It's all one color. And then you can do Orpheus and a few of these musical notes. And you do this ombre and it looks fantastic. It really, I ride in another crew and you know, sometimes I do just like a solid colored item and I will glitter using ombre and an outline, you know, just the name of the crew and the year, and it looks really fantastic. You know, add some great trim and you're like done. So if you are feeling like transfers are way, you know, more than what you're looking to do, give this a try because I think you're going to be really pleased. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is moving into glittering full force here. I wanted to show you how a different font can really, you know, really up your tambourine game. You haven't done that yet. So it's going to be backwards because I'm on this live thing, but I am doing something for a friend who's going to be at the Tomato Fest, and she's supposed to do a 70s theme. So I just looked up groovy fonts, and I typed in Tomato Fest, and this is what came out. And you can see it's kind of a groovy looking font. So your handwriting might be wonderful. Your handwriting might be terrible. If your handwriting's terrible and mine's not the best, I find to have a more finished, polished, glittered item, I'm always better off using a font and then just glittering the font. So that's what I'm going to show you because it really, you know, it also adds to the presentation of whatever you're trying to get across. So I'm going to do this groovy font. And the other thing that's cool about this is I can do the ombre on it, which I'm actually not going to do an ombre where I did a blend, and I am going to come back and show you how to do the blends. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do two different colors, and I'm going to show you. We'll do the Fest in the interest of time. So I'm just going to outline in my paint like I always do. And this is not the neatest outline job, but I want to show you how just using a font that you download and two colors, how you can really get a very custom and great look, really a wow look on your item. Well, this is actually going not on a tambourine, but I can still show it to you once I'm done. And it's on the item. I can kind of show you how this works. And many of you have done this. This is not rocket science or anything fabulously new, but for those of you who haven't, we just wanted to show you a few things so you'd have some tools in your toolbox. So I'm gonna kind of clean this up just a little bit because I really want to get the full effect of this font. So I want to fill everything in. Oh, one other thing I wanted to tell you while I'm kind of playing with this is you might be worried about, you know, peeling these off and applying them, you know, gluing them on and getting them just so. You might have a font that's got some really thin pieces to it. What you can do, and I did this in NYX is I would do like a cloud or a heart, just some sort of free form shape around my item, you know, fest in this case. And I would, you know, take the time to fill it all in and everything, but then I'm peeling off a sticker. And I'm not peeling off each one of these and trying to align them perfectly on my item. So that is a little tip and trick. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is just two colors. I'm gonna use this, this coral, and I'm gonna use, I don't have regular yellow, so I'm just gonna use this lighter yellow. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is two colors. And they're not, you know, ombre colors, they're just two colors. And I'm gonna do the yellow at the top. So this is where you kind of have to be a little more precise with placing your glitter on the item. And again, I'm tapping down, and I'm going to take my loose glitter and put it back in its container. And then I'm gonna do the next color. Let me tap this a little bit more so I don't infect this color. I'm gonna do my next color, this coral, and shake my paper out so that it is clean. Now here, to try not to infect my glitter, I'm actually gonna kind of shake it off. I have no words left, but I didn't shake it so it was shaking over the yellow. I was shaking it away from the yellow, if that makes sense. And look how cool that is. And just like that, I've got this two-toned, really cool font that is gonna, you know, elevate my item. And that was pretty darn easy. So I would encourage you to think about glittering. That was glittering, guys. That's all there is to it. The next piece of glittering we're gonna do is, I'm gonna take a tambourine, and this is where I'm just free form. You're gonna see how horrible my handwriting is, but I'm just gonna free form. And I'm gonna write Happy Mardi Gras, hopefully decently. Let me make sure that I've got, okay. So I'm just gonna do, you know, a cute little, hopefully cute, you know, like little, I forgot how much I hate this white. Okay. Just kind of trying to make it look fun. See, this is where if you don't have much time, you don't have time to glitter, this is how you get it done. So I just did a quick little Happy Mardi Gras. It's very bad looking, but that's what I got going on tonight. So that's what I'm doing. And I am going to use, I didn't bring a good glitter out for it. So I guess I'm gonna use this gold, which is really not gonna look good. And that's it. Happy Mardi Gras, done glittering. And that will go to some kid who will not care. So that is glittering. So we talked about glittering. We talked about ombre. We talked about confetti. So the last thing is how to mix your own colors. So what you're going to do to mix your own colors. Oh, I don't have cups. You're going to take a cup. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to mix a dark red. So let's say I need a really dark red, and I don't have a dark red. What you can do is you can look up colors online. You can say, what colors make up dark red? Or what colors make up whatever color you need? Turquoise. And it'll tell you, you need 1 part yellow and 2 parts green, or whatever it tells you. When you go to custom glitter, or make a custom color, as I was mentioning before, well, let me show you this. Let's do the Orpheus yellow. Hang on, let me grab my yellow. I'm coming. Okay, that's me being totally unprepared. I said Orpheus yellow, that's not what I meant. Like an LSU yellow, or let's just say a warmer yellow for our sunflowers. So I'm gonna start with just a little jello shot thing. I'm gonna add some of my yellow, not a ton, because again, if I don't end up liking it, I've wasted all that yellow. Yellow is a little bit on the sheer side, and I want it to be a little bit deeper. So I need to add a little bit of this orange. So I'm gonna add the littlest bit, and I'm gonna show you how we build the color. So I'm adding, that's like nothing. And I'm going to use one of these nice skewer things. Y'all know skewers are like my favorite. At one point I had one of those little baby whisks. I don't know, I got it at Bed Bath & Beyond or something, but I've lost it. I lose everything. But you can see that's the original yellow. And that is the yellow with just a little bit of orange. See how it's already getting a little bit darker? Okay, so I might be happy with that color, but I think I want I want it a little bit darker. So again, just a tiny bit. The only way, like if you put way too much orange in and it's too dark for you, the only way to fix it is to add more yellow. So that's why I suggest just a little bit at a time. You can also put the top on and just shake it to mix it too. But you can see now the difference. With just a little bit of orange. See how it's warmer? It's like a lot warmer. That to me is like a sunflower yellow. That could be the interior. I think that's what I did on the tambourine. It's more of an LSU yellow. So I have a lot of this. Now what I did with this one is I just added even more of the orange. And you can see, let me keep them like this so you can see me building the colors. And that's even more of a orangey yellow than this is. So that's how you custom blend glitters. The other thing that I wanted to share with you is if you want to do an ombre, you can see we basically are starting to build an ombre right now. We've got the base color, little bit into orange, more into orange. You wouldn't want to put these side by side though. So you can just eyeball it, and you can just keep working on, have another cup with more yellow and add even more of the orange. Or if you want to be a little more precise about it, what you would do is you would have 1 cup with each of, I'll call it your endpoint colors, yellow and orange. And then you would take those cups, you would kind of fill them, I don't know, halfway or whatever, depending on how much you're making. And then you would take those 2 and you would pour half of yellow and half of orange into a middle cup. And then you would take half of your halved mixture and half of your end color, let's say yellow in this case. And what you end up with is effectively a quarter orange and 3/4 yellow. And then you would do it the other way, where you would end up with 1/4 orange and 3/4, 3/4 orange, 1/4 yellow. And then if it's still too distinct between those colors, then you would do the same thing. You would just pour half and half together. You would sort of keep pouring half and half together until you get this blend. Another thing, though, to keep in mind is you don't have to have them so subtle between the colors because you're doing 2 coats. So when you do 2 coats, naturally, you're not going to apply, this particular blend on that particular section precisely. You're going to have a little bit of overlap. And when you do that, you're going to get a blending effect. So when you first do it, it will kind of look like stripes to you. But when you do your second coat, those stripes will smooth out. So that is basically how to blend colors to make an ombre. Let me take this off now, and I'm not going to show me because I'm a mess. Okay, Janine, you said much better. Is that what's much better? And you might not even be on anymore. Okay, that's kind of all I wanted to show you tonight. If you have any questions, as always, just type them in the comments on the video, and either Debbie, Tanya, or I will get back with you. Otherwise, happy glittering. Enjoy playing with glitter, and if you and please tune in next week. I believe next week Debbie is going to do advanced transfers, if I'm right. So have a great evening, have fun glittering, and hope to see you all at the crawfish boil. Thanks, bye.